Good day, this is Teacher Rowan. I'll be your guide in exploring Google Apps for education, for teaching and learning. In Google for Education, teachers can connect and collaborate easily while staying on task. It gives teachers the freedom to spend more time personalizing the learning experience and less time managing it. Students can learn essential skills such as 21st century problem solving, which they can use it in their future careers. As such, the accessibility features will also help and assist every learner to do their best work. Google offers different useful applications that we can use to connect education to technology. This will help our teachers as a 21st century educators to innovate and find ways on how to make teaching and learning more exciting, engaging, effective, and flexible to the demands of the society. Let's re-explore the education experience by discovering new angles to create, collaborate, and communicate as one. Para sa bata, para sa bayan, at para sa guro. Ang pagkatuto, huwag gawing komplikado. Sulong edukalidad.
Magandang araw, Sir Wilbur po, at your service. Narito ang ETUlay upang gabayan ka sa inyong pag-aaral upang lubos na maunawaan ang iba't ibang paksa o subject. Ang ETUlay ay isang free online tutorial class na pinangungunahan ng DepEd Educational Technology Unit sa pamumuno ni Undersecretary Elaine Del B. Pascua. Ang programang ito ay hindi lamang para sa mga bata, kundi ito rin ay magsisilbing gabay sa mga magulang at mga guro kung paano nila ituturo o gagabayan sa bawat asignatura ang kanilang mga anak o mga estudyante. Sa kasalukuyan, ang self-learning module mula sa rehiyon ng Calabarzon at kilala sa tawag na pivot ang ginagamit sa ating ETUlay online class. Kaya ano pang hinihintay ninyo? Ihanda na ang inyong mga ballpen o lapis, papel o kwaderno at samahan kaming itulay ang pagkatuto para sa bawat batang Pilipino. Sama-sama tayong magtutulungan para malampasan ang mga hamon sa panahong ito. Halina't matuto kasama ang inyong online tutor sa oras na ito.
Yes, hello, good afternoon po ulit sa lahat ng mga nanonood dito sa ating Facebook Live at sa ating YouTube Live. Kasama nyo pa rin ang inyong tutor of Hill para sa ating Mathematics 10 sa ikatlong markahan para sa Week 3. At syempre kakatulad ng aking sinabi, para mas marami at mas malawak ang ating masakop or mapuntahan ng ating pagtuturo dito sa DepEd Online Tutorial ETUlay, huwag pong kalimutan i-like at i-share ang ating mga Facebook pages, ang DepEd Philippines, DepEd Edtech Unit, gayon din ang DepEd TV at DepEd Tayo. Pag-subscribe na rin po tayo sa ating mga official YouTube channel, ang DepEd TV Official at Educational Technology Unit. At pa-follow na rin po tayo sa ating mga personal pages, ang Simply of Hill, Samal National High School Annex at DepEd TV One Bataan Production Team. Ayun, so muli po ang magandang hapon sa lahat ng mga mag-aaral natin, sa ating grade 10 learners, sa ating mga parents dyan na kasamang nanonood ng ating mga mag-aaral, at syempre sa mga kapwa ko educators sa Mathematics 10 sa buong Pilipinas, Luzon, Visayas at Mindanao. Muli po ako ang inyong tutor of Hill para sa Mathematics 10. Ayun, so bago ang lahat, bumati muna tayo. Good afternoon, watching from Sultan Kudarat, sila Trinidad Mestizo, RJ De Guzman, ganun din sila Josephine Valencia, Nash CM Janita Branzuela, Edgar Masong watching live from Bogo Central Division of Bogo City, Cebu, Leila Patawaran, at sila Albert Rendon. Good afternoon daw, good afternoon from FBR NHS Division of Bulacan, si Regine Aradanas, at si Florante Melanie Taguba watching from ang Andanan National High School SDO Isabela. Okay, so tuloy-tuloy tayo sa ating pag-aaral ngayong hapon na ito, grade 10 learners. Sabi ko nga, tayo ay nasa Q3, Week 3. So hindi ko lang napalitan yung Week 2 dyan, it's Week 3 na po. Pinag-usapan natin nakaraang linggo ang permutations. Ngayon naman ay pag-uusapan natin ng word problems involving permutation. So ipapasok na natin o i-apply na natin kung ano yung napag-aralan nating konsepto tungkol sa permutations sa mga real-life situations natin ngayong hapon na ito. Okay. So, pasalamat muna sa Schools Division of Bataan sa Junior High School Module Development Team, ang author ng module na ginagamit ko para maging reference, and of course ang Division Management Team ng buong Schools Division of Bataan para po sa pagpayag na gamitin kong batayan ang ating ang module ng Schools Division of Bataan para sa ating tutorial ngayong hapon na ito sa Mathematics 10. Ayun. Okay, so pare-parehas tayo ng objectives hanggang from week 1 to week 3. Ang kailangan lang natin ipakita ang permutation of objects at isolve ang mga problems involving permutations. So, ano nga ba ang permutation? Let's just have a review. Permutation refers to different possible arrangement of a set of objects where order matters. So, pinag-uusapan sa permutation yung arrangement ng mga bagay na merong sinusundan na order. Hindi lang basta siya in-arrange kung paano or kundi may perong pagkakasunod, merong pattern. Halimbawa, i-arrange ito base sa maliit pa palaki, i-arrange ito mula sa malaki pa paliit o sa mas mababang value sa mataas na value. So, ibig sabihin, ang permutation ay may arrangement na meron sinusundang sequence or order. So, there are different ways in which a collection of items can be arranged. So, yun yung tinatawag nating permutation. So, kino-compute natin kung ilang bang possible ways ang mga bagay na pwedeng i-arrange depende sa hinihingi ng sitwasyon. Okay. So, good afternoon to watching from Agadanan National High School, STO Isabela, si Florante Taguba, ganun din si Goodad National High School, Division Pampagas, Cheryl Rivera Reyes. Ayun. Good afternoon, Janice Takadaw. Magandang hapon. So, okay. So, balikan natin. Pinag-usapan natin ang tatlong types of permutation. Meron tayong standard permutation or the general rule of permutation. Meron din tayong tinatawag or pinag-aralan last week na circular permutation. At meron din naman tayong tinatawag na distinguishable permutation. So, tatlong uri ng permutations ang mga napag-aralan natin at nakilala natin noong nakaraang linggo. Kaya naman sabi ko nga ngayong linggong ito, ang pag-uusapan natin ay ang application lamang ng iba't ibang uri ng permutations sa mga real life problems or real life situations. So, dapat ready na tayo at dapat written learners natatandaan natin kung ano nga ba mga formula ang ginagamit natin sa bawat uri ng permutation at kung paano nga ba ina-apply ang mga formulang ito sa mga sitwasyon na binigay nating halimbawa nung nakaraang linggo din. Okay, sana tatandaan nyo pa ha. So, recall natin, ang formula to use in the standard rule of permutation, we have the permutation of n taken r is equal to n factorial divided by the quantity n minus r factorial, wherein n is greater than or equal to r. Hindi maaaring yung n natin ay mas mababa pa sa r. Dapat it is greater than or equal. Pwedeng katumbas o higit pa. So, ang ginagamit natin sa standard rule of permutation, sabi ko nga, our formula will be permutation of n taken r is equal to n factorial divided by n minus r factorial. Okay. Samantala, circular permutation, pinag-aralan din natin noong nakaraang linggo, ang formula sa pagkuha nito ay ang permutation is equal to the quantity n minus 1 factorial. So, ang titingnan lang natin dito ay yung given na n or yung given yung given na bilang ng mga tao na i-arrange o object na i-arrange natin. So, sa paraan na pabilog na arrangement. Kaya tinatawag natin circular permutation. At kapag gano'n ang ating sitwasyon, ang gagamitin nating formula ay permutation is equal to the quantity n minus 1 factorial. Okay? Good afternoon, watching from Rosario National High School, Schools Division of Santiago City, si Julie Agkawili. Magandang hapon. And then, pinag-usapan din natin ang distinguishable permutation at ang pagkuha ng permutation ito, ang possible ways ito ay pinapakita sa ating formulang permutation is equal to n factorial divided by p factorial, q factorial, times r factorial. Ayan na. So, meron tayong ganitong formula dahil daw kapag sabing distinguishable permutation, meron na parehas na kasama sa set of objects. So, halimbawa, katulad nga ng mga example natin last time, Mississippi, may mga ilang letra na magkakapares katulad ng S, ng I, saka ng P. Kaya naman ginamit natin yung distinguishable permutation sa ating computation. Pinakita rin natin noong nakaraang linggo yung halimbawa na check. Sa check naman na salita ay merong dalawang C. Kumbaga ang C natin ay may kaparehas kaya naman ginamit din natin ang salitang or ang formula ng distinguishable permutation. Okay. So good afternoon, watching from Agadana National High School Grade 10, si John Mark Tumbaga. Gayon din, good afternoon from Bangkero Integrated School, Reyna Mercedes District, si Ella Solito Kalima. Gayon. Maraming salamat sa lahat ng mga bumabati dyan ng good afternoon at patuloy lang kayo makinig at huwag kalimutan i-like at i-share para siguradong yung mga classmates natin na grade 10 dyan ay siguradong makakasabay sa ating discussion this afternoon. Ngayon naman ay dumako tayo sa ating topic ngayong hapon na ito. Sabi ko nga, it's word problem involving or solving word problems involving permutation. Kaya naman, magkakaroon tayo ng mga set of problems at isosolve natin yan ng sabay-sabay. Kaya ihanda ang mga scratch paper at tandaan lamang ulit or mag-recall tayo ulit ng ating mga formulas na pinakita natin kanina para naman masigurado natin kung ano ang gagamitin nating formula. Okay, so habang naghahanda kayo dyan at kumuha kayo ng mga papel at ballpen, batiin lang natin ang good afternoon watching from Pedro Guevara Memorial National High School, Santa Cruz, Laguna, si Raylene Embalia. Magandang hapon. So this is our question number 1. A teacher wants, or word problem number 1, a teacher wants to assign 5 different tasks to her 5 students. In how many possible ways can she do it? So sabi, ilan daw possible ways or what is the permutation of this situation wherein a teacher wants to assign 5 different tasks to her 5 students. So what kind of permutation is this one? At habang iniisip nyo natin, hinintay ko ang mga sagot niyo sa ating comment section, batiin lang rin natin ang good afternoon watching from Bilyaba National Comprehensive High School, Bilyaba, Leyte, si LB Saladaga. Magandang hapon. Okay, now, letter A, 24 ways. Letter B, 12 ways. Letter C, 240 ways. O letter D, 120 ways. Okay, A teacher wants to assign 5 different tasks to her 5 students. In how many possible ways can she do it? Letter A, 24 ways. Letter B, 12 ways. Letter C, 240 ways. Or letter D, 120 ways. Now, for us to find out what will be the answer in our word problem number 1, let us try to analyze and solve the given problem. Remember to follow the steps in problem solving. Step number 1 is to identify what is asked, and then identify what are the given, followed by the formula to be used, and then you substitute the given by performing the indicated operation, and after that, you solve it, and then you give the final answer. Okay, so watching from the Marinas West National High School, Mary Francine B. Luyang. Magandang hapon. Okay, so let us try to analyze and solve the problem. Now, let us check first, what type of permutation is the given problem? Ano nga bang uri ng permutation ang nakita natin o nabasa nating problema? Ito ba ay standard rule of permutation? Ito ba ay circular permutation? Or ito ba ay distinguishable permutation? O, let us check. This is a standard rule of permutation. For that, ang standard rule of permutation, ang kailangan nating gamitin or operation to be used is the given permutation n taken r is equal to n factorial divided by quantity n minus r factorial. Dahil ito ay standard rule of permutation. Now, let us check. Since we have the formula permutation quantity n or n taken r is equal to n factorial divided by the quantity n minus r factorial, our next thing to do is to check on the given. Let us assign the given wherein on our problem, ang given po natin ay n is equal to 5 at r is equal to 5. Kaya naman, isa-substitute natin yung n which is 5 at yung r which is also 5 sa ating formula. O, habang nag-substitute kayo dyan at nagsosolve, let us just try to greet watching from Ilocos Norte National High School si Kimberly Barayuga. Ganun din, good afternoon watching from Montañesa, NHS, Malabuyok District, Cebu Province, si Rosenda Caredo. Magandang hapon sa lahat ng mga nanonood natin dyan. Now, let us try to substitute the given to our formula. So for that, we will have the permutation 5 taken 5 is equal to 5 factorial divided by the quantity 5 minus 5 factorial. After that, We try to perform the indicated operation by simplifying. Sabi ni Miriam Rosalia Pecauco, Matalam High School. Okay, so may mga sagot na yung iba nating mga friends at iba nating mga tuti sa ating comment section. So once we substitute, perform natin, magiging permutation of 5 taken 5 is equal to 5 factorial divided by 0 factorial. But remember that 0 factorial is a neutral number, so therefore 0 factorial is equal to 1. Kaya naman matitira na lang dyan ay 5 times 4 times 3 times 2 times 1, which means that is denoted by 5 factorial. So pinahaba na natin, expand na natin ang factorial method. So you will have now 5 times 4 times 3 times 2 times 1. Sabi ni Abby Villanueva, ang kanyang sagot ay 120. May sagot na rin sila Raylene Embali at Mary Francine Luyang. So kung ang sagot ninyo ay 120 ways, ibig sabihin sa ating word problem number 1, wherein a teacher wants to assign 5 different tasks to her 5 students. In how many possible ways can she do it? If your answer is letter D, 120 ways, katulad ng mga sagot nila Rosenda Carredo, tama po ang inyong sagot. Very good. Correct. Ang gagalingan ng mga kasama natin sa ating live na this afternoon. Now, let us have word problem number 2. In our word problem number 2, the given is, in a certain General Assembly, 3 major prizes are at stake. In how many ways can the first, second, and third prizes can be drawn from a box containing 50 names? So, the given are, is it A, 117,600 ways? Is it B, 11,760 ways? Is it C, 111,760 ways? Or letter D, 17,160 ways? Try to solve and try to analyze the given problem and write your answer at our comment section. Ayun. So now let us try to analyze and solve the given. Question number 1 is, what type of permutation is the given problem? Anong uri ng permutation ang pinakita sa ating problema? Ito ba ay standard rule of permutation? Ito ba ay circular permutation, o ito ba ay distinguishable permutation? Okay, let us check. If your answer is standard rule of permutation, you are correct. So alam ko naman on your mind you have in your mind you have the answer standard rule of permutation. Tama ang inyong mga sagot sa lahat ng mga nanonood sa atin dito sa live. Okay, and what is the operation to be used? Again, kapag standard rule of permutation, ang type of permutation na meron tayo sa isang problem, it is the permutation of n taken r is equal to n factorial divided by the quantity n minus r factorial. Again, it is the permutation of n taken r is equal to n factorial divided by the quantity n minus r factorial. So what are we going to do next? Ano ang susunod natin gawin? We substitute the given to our formula. So remember the formula, we have the given 50, which is our n, and r is equal to 3. We substitute the given, we'll have now the permutation of 50 taken r is equal to 50 factorial divided by 50 minus 3 factorial. Then after substitution, we simplify the given on the equation. So you will have now permutation of 5 taken 3 is equal to 50 factorial divided by 47 factorial. So si 50 divided by 50 minus 3, kaya nakuha yung ating 47. Okay, so I hope that you're getting, you're following the steps dun sa mga lahat ng mga kasama natin dito sa ating live. Now, next. So, siyempre, matitira na lang yung 50 times 49 times 48 because magka-cancelled out yung 47 pababa dahil may 47 factorial din tayo sa ating denominator. Not thoroughly na-cancelled out siya, but those will be equivalent to 1 na kasi yung 47 factorial divided by 47 factorial, so that will be equivalent to 1 because diba sabi nga natin in a fraction, if we have the same numerator and denominator, that is equal to 1. So ang matitira sa ating permutation of 5, or that will be 50 taken 3 is 50 times 49 times 48. So our possible ways will be 117,660 600 ways. Okay, so that is correct. If your answer is 117,600 ways and on the given, if your answer is letter A, tama ang inyong sagot. So sila Raylin Embalia, that is correct. Mary Francine Luyang, you are correct. At alam ko na may mga iba pa na gustong humabol ng kanilang sagot. Very good. Correct. Now let's have word problem number 3. Find the number of different ways that a family of 8 can be seated around a circular table with 8 chairs. The choices are A, 40,320 ways. Letter B, 5,040 ways. Letter C, 4,320 ways. Or letter D, 50,400 ways. Again, word problem number 3 is we are about to find the number of different ways that a family of 8 can be seated around a circular table of 8 chairs. Is it A, 40,320 ways? Is it B, 5,040 ways? Is it C, 4,320 ways? Or is it letter D, 50,500, is it 50,400 ways? Okay. So sa mga sumagot sila Rosenda Caredo na humabol na kanyang sagot sa tanong natin kanina or example kanina, 117,600 ways, that is correct. Now let us try to check this one. Again, let us solve. What type of permutation is a given problem? That is a circular permutation kasi ang sabi sa problema, we need to assign or we need to arrange the 8 members of the family in a circular table. So from the word itself, circular table, kaya ang type of permutation natin will be a circular permutation. And since we are talking about circular permutation, the formula to be used is permutation of n taken r is equal to the quantity n minus 1 factorial. Sabi nila, Angela Sumadja, that is 40,320 ways. Sabi ni Raylin Embalia, 5,040 ways. Ganyan din ang sagot ni LB Saladaga na 40,320 ways. Ang daming iba't ibang sagot. Rosenda Arego, 5,040. Let us check kung ano ang tamang sagot sa inyong mga sinagot sa ating comment section. So for our solution, again, we will have the formula permutation is equal to the quantity n minus 1 factorial. From that, our n is equal to 8. So permutation is equal to 8 minus 1 factorial. Simplify our given by permutation is equal to quantity 8 minus 1 factorial. That is 8 minus 1 is 7 factorial. So using our factorial method, permutation will be equal to 7 times 6 times 5 times 4 times 3 times 2 times 1. So we need to get for the final solution or the final answer. So our permutation is equal to 5,040 ways. If 5,040 ways is your answer, you are correct. Very good. So congratulations kila Angela Sumadja, kila Raylin Embalia at kila Rosenda Caredo na sumagot ng 5,040 ways. And for our problem number 3, the answer is letter B, 5,040 ways. Tama rin ang sagot ni Abby Villanueva. Now let us proceed to our word problem number 4. How many distinguishable permutations are possible with all the letters of the word statistics? It is already given on our problem. There is already the context clue or the keyword. So ano kayang type of permutation ang gagamitin sa problem na to? Alam nyo ba? Kaya bang hulaan? Siyempre, no, kasi sobrang given na yung ating type of permutation. So let us show first the options. We have the choices. A, 40,320 ways. Letter B, 5,040 ways. We also have letter C, 4,320 ways. And letter D, 50,400 ways. So let us try to solve the given problem, word problem number 4. Sabi natin kanina, it is a distinguishable permutation. For that, what we need to do or the operation to be used is permutation of n taken r is equal to n factorial divided by p factorial q factorial times r factorial. We substitute our given. We will have now n is equal to 10, p is equal to r, q is equal to r, and r is equal to 2. Because there are 3 letters na tatlong set of letters na magkakaparehas. Sabi ni Raylene Embali at Rosenda Carredo, distinguishable. Correct, tama. Gagaling ng mga panay nagko-comment sa atin dyan sa comment section. You are correct, guys. So using the formula, permutation is equal to n factorial divided by p factorial times q factorial times r factorial. Substituting our given to the formula, we will have now permutation of n taken r is equal to 10 factorial divided by 3 factorial times 3 factorial times 2 factorial. Let us now try to expand the given. We will have permutation is equal to 10 times 9 times 8 times 7 times 6 times 5 times 4 times 3 times 2 times 1. Divide by 3 times 2 times 1 for the 3 factorial, another 3 times 2 times 1 for another 3 factorial, and 2 times 1 for the 2 factorial, which are found in our denominator. Ngayon, meron tayong mga tawag dito, pwede na nating ma-eliminate in a way na they are equal in a sense na yung numerator at denominator have an equal equivalent. For example, yung ating 6 dyan, pwede na siyang i-multiply 3 times 2 times 1. Yung ating namang 4 times 3 will be equivalent to 3 times 2 times 1 and 2 times 1 kasi that is 4 times 3 is 12 and 3 times 2 times 1 times 2 times 1 is still equivalent to 12. Okay, so yon. Ngayon, magiging sagot natin will be 10 times 9 times 8 times 7 times 5 times 2 times 1. Yun na lang matitira natin once na na-simplify na natin ang ating equation. Yes, hello. Good afternoon, Blake, Mac, Iver, Liaga. Okay, so now let us check. So sabi natin, ang tamang sagot will be 50,400 ways. Yun ang sagot nila Diana Belen at ni Raylene Embalia. If that is your answer as well, you are correct. Rosenda Carredo, correct. Very good. So for our word problem number 4, the answer is letter D, 50,400 ways. Mary Francine Biluyang and Kimberly Barayuga, you are also correct. Gagaling ah. Word problem number 5. In Bataan General Hospital, BGH, dito yon sa probinsya namin sa Bataan, there are 7 isolation rooms for COVID-19 patients. So in how many ways can 5 COVID-19 patients occupy the said rooms? So ilan daw paraan na pwedeng yung 5 COVID-19 patients ang makapag-occupy dun sa ating 7 isolation rooms na matatagpuan sa Bataan General Hospital. Okay, now let us try to check. First, let us identify what kind of permutation is given or is the given situation. Ano kaya ang permutation ng ating given situation? Sabi ni Joel Aquino. Maraming salamat po. Okay. The problem is linear permutation of n objects taken R at a time. So, once we said linear permutation, pinag-uusapan din dito ang ating tinatawag na standard rule of permutation. Ito yung linear permutation natin of objects or n objects taken R at a time. Since yun ang ating given sa ating problem, the next thing to do is to identify the formula. Sabi ni LB Saladaga, may sagot na sila, 2,520. Yun din ang sagot ni Diana Belen. Let us check if your answer is correct. Sa lahat ng mga nagsagot sa ating comment box or comment section. But for now, let us have the formula. Again, the step-by-step process in solving word problems. So the formula is permutation is equal to n, or permutation of n taken R is equal to n factorial divided by the quantity n minus r factorial. Okay. To identify the given, our given R, n is equal to 7 and R is equal to 5. There are 7 isolation rooms and there are 5 COVID patients. So may sagot na rin sila Abby Villanueva at si Mary Francine Biluyang. Let us check your answers later. After that, we substitute the given to our corresponding formula. We will have now permutation of 7 taken 5 is equal to 7 factorial divided by the quantity 7 minus 5 factorial. So, sinubstitute na natin yung ating given sa ating formula. Next, we simplify our given by solving. You will have now the permutation of 7 taken 5 is equal to the 7 factorial divided by the quantity 7 minus 5 factorial. Sabi ni Raylene Embalia, 2,520. May sagot na rin sila Raylene. So, matitira na lang natin is 7 factorial divided by 2 factorial by having 7 minus 5. Kaya naging 2 factorial. May sagot na rin si Janeline Calma, from, sabi niya, 2,520 ways. And of course, matitira natin 7 times, 6 times, 5 times, 4 times, 3 times 2 factorial divided by 2 factorial. Kaya naman, ang 2 factorial natin at 2 factorial na sa denominator ay will be equivalent to 1. Matitira na lang will be 7 times 6 times 5 times 4 times 3, which will be equivalent to 2,520 ways. Which means our answer is correct. Very good. Sa lahat ng mga sumagot ng 2,520 ways, tama po ang inyong sagot. Therefore, there are 2,520 ways that the 5 COVID-19 patients can occupy the 7 isolation rooms. So, yun din ang sagot ni Blake Iver Liaga. Ayun. Now, let us try to solve word problem number 6. The Interagency Task Force IATF on Emerging Infectious Diseases is scheduled to have a meeting wherein representatives from different agencies are expected to attend. In how many ways can 5 male and 5 female representatives be seated at a round table if, okay, so we have different situations to be answered on this given situation. Again, the Interagency Task Force IATF on Emerging Infectious Diseases is scheduled to have a meeting wherein representatives from different agencies are expected to attend. In how many ways can 5 male and 5 female representatives be seated at a round table if? Okay. So, sabi na dyan, a round table. So, ibig sabihin, there's a probability na or there's a possibility na ang gagamitin talaga natin ay circular permutations. Correct. Very good. No restrictions are imposed. Letter A. So, tingnan natin kung paano ba yung maging arrangement nila in how many possible ways kung walang restrictions na ipapatupad. Kung bahala sila, basta mag-ikot-ikot sila doon sa round table and then ilang permutation kaya, ilang possible ways kaya sila pwedeng umupo or ilang arrangement sila pwedeng umupo doon sa round table. Letter B, if the females and males are to occupy alternate seats. So, lalaki, babae, ang magiging arrangement na ating permutation. O kaya naman, 3 particular females must sit together, magkakatabi yung 3 babae, tapos bago lalaki, o kaya naman bahala na yung ibang lalaki sa kanilang arrangement, basta yung 3 babae ay dapat magkakatabi. Papakita natin ang mga solution na yun maya-maya lamang. And then, kung ang 3 or 3 particular females must not sit together, bawal naman daw magtabi-tabi yung 3 babae. Pwede magtabi yung 2, pero yung 3 babae na hindi na pwedeng magtabi. And then last but not least, all the females must sit together. So dapat naman daw, ano naman daw ang possible ways na lahat ng babae magkakatabi, tapos yung mga lalaki bahala, kung magbahala sila sa magiging formation nila sa ating round table. Now, to solve these given problems or the given situations, let us try to analyze first letter A. The number of arrangement of 10 representatives to be seated at a round table is n minus 1 factorial because we're talking about circular permutations at no restrictions required or implemented. Wala kasi tayong susundan na sequence kung babae o lalaki o lalaki o babae muna, parang ganon. So, on that matter, ang gagamitin lang natin ay circular permutation. And the circular permutation will be denoted by permutation is equal to the quantity n minus 1 factorial. Now, let us try to solve the given. If we have 10 representatives to be seated at a round table, we will have now the permutation is equal to 10 minus 1 factorial. From there, you will have 10 minus 1 is 9. So that is permutation of 9 factorial. So we will have now 9 times 8 times 7 times 6 times 5 times 4 times 3 times 2 times 1. Sabi ni LB Saladaga, that is 362,880. Let us check if your answer is correct, LB. If your answer is 362,880 ways, that is correct. Very good. Galing nga. Nakuha na agad kung paano isolve ang letter A. Now, let us proceed to our condition letter B. Sabi kanina, assign a male representative to a specific chair and let the other 4 be seated around the table. That is, find the number of ways the 5 male representatives can be seated at the round table. So sa mga sumagot ng 362,880 ways, Raylene and Mary Francine, you are also correct. Now, if we have 5 male representatives to be seated at round table, the formula will be permutation is equal to n minus 1 factorial because we're talking about circular permutations as well. Blake, Mac, Iver, Liaga, tama rin ang iyong sagot. May sagot na agad si LB Saladaga. Very good, galing. So we have quantity 5 minus 1 factorial. So that will become P is equal to 4 factorial. So permutation of the 5 male representatives can be seated at the round table will be 4 times 3 times 2 times 1, which will be equivalent to 24 ways. That is for the 5 male representatives. Wala pa dito yung female representatives. For you to have the female representatives can be seated in 5 chairs as if they are seated linearly. So sabi kasi kanina dyan, di ba, alternate daw sila. Lalaki, babae. Thus, you have the P is equal to n factorial because the 5 seats will be taken all by 5 female representatives. For that, you will have P or permutation is equal to 5 factorial. 5 times 4 times 3 times 2 times 1. That is 120 ways. After that, we will combine the permutation of the male representatives and the permutation of the female representatives. By fundamental counting or fundamental principle of counting, you will now have 2,880 ways. And that will be our answer. 2,880 ways. That is 24 times 120. Okay, So ulitin ko, kinuha muna natin yung pag-upo ng mga lalaki sa round table, kaya nakuha natin yung circular permutation, and then kinuha naman natin ang permutation ng mga babae at taken all the 5 seats, kaya naman nakuha natin yung 120, and then we combine by using fundamental principle of counting. 24 times 120 will be equivalent to 2,880 ways. Okay. Now, letter C, let us have the third condition. Consider the 3 particular females as one group or unit because they must sit together. Yung 3 babae daw kailangan magkakatabi. So, tama yung sagot ni Rilin and Balia, 2,880 ways. Very good. So, from there, since there are 2 female and 5 male representatives to be seated, there are total of 5 seats for males and 2 seats for females plus 1 group seat. So, yun yung 8 seats natin na binibigay to be arranged in circle kasi naka-round table tayo. Now, let us try to use our circular permutation ulit. Good afternoon daw, watching from Lucena City National High School, si Blake, Mac, Iver, Liaga. Magandang hapon. So, using our circular permutation, you will have P is equal to the quantity 8 minus 1 factorial because we have 8 as a group seats. Okay? Meron tayong 8 seating arrangement. So that will become 7 factorial, and that will, on the factorial notation or factorial method, 7 factorial is equivalent to 7 times 6 times 5 times 4 times 3 times 2 times 1. And that will be equivalent to 5,040 ways. But that is not yet done. Now, moreover, the 3 females can be arranged within its group in n factorial kasi nga yung titake nila ulit yung lahat ng upuan ng silang 3 lang. So from there, para maging magkakatabi-tabi sila, ang gagamitin natin is yung 3 factorial. So tama ang sagot ni Kimberly Barayuga do sa 5,040 ways kanina. Now let us try to have 3 factorial on this given. You will have now 3 times 2 times 1. So that will be 3 times 2 times 1 is 6 factorial. And then 6 ways tayo doon. After that, multiply ulit natin by using our fundamental counting principle. So for that, you will have 30,240 ways. Ayun. Wait lang Okay, so let us check. Very good si Kimberly Barayuga. Galing nakakasunod siya. Now, let us have our fourth situation. The situation is complement of event in C. Therefore, the required number of ways the 10 representatives can be seated is equal to the difference of the answer in event A and event C. So, tama rin ang sagot ni Mary Francine Luyang kanina sa 30,240 ways. So, i-minus lang natin yung event A at event C para makuha naman natin yung permutation sa ating event D. So, that will be permutation of the quantity 10 minus 1 factorial minus the quantity 7 factorial, 3 factorial, or times 3 factorial. Now, we will have 362,880 ways minus 5,040 times 6. Yun yung 7 factorial times 3 factorial, yung ating event C. So 362,880 ways minus 30,240 ways. So our final answer will become 332,640 ways. So that is how to compute our situation letter D. Okay, nasundan ba? Now let us proceed to our last condition. Letter E, treat the 5 female representatives as one group. So we will have the condition 5 seats for males plus 1 group seat for females. That will be equal to 6 seats. So meron na tayo. Watching daw si Daniel, Joaquin, Lazaro, magandang hapon. To be arranged in circle dahil we're still talking about round table dito. So our formula will be permutation is equal to the quantity n minus 1 factorial because of the circular permutation. Dahil ang given natin ay 6 seats, meron tayong permutation is equal to 6 minus 1 factorial. Permutation is equal to 5 factorial. Therefore, permutation is equal to 5 times 4 times 3 times 2 times 1 by expanding our factorial notation. And then, that will be equivalent to 120 ways. Okay, so Raylin Embalia, tama rin ang yung sagot kanina. Okay, so that's, moreover, the 5 females can be arranged within its group in 5 factorial pa rin. Basta para magkakatabi yung mga girls natin o halimbawa magkakatabi yung mga boys natin, depende sa magiging condition. So, syempre, sa kanila, taken all lang sila. From there, you will have 5 factorial dahil taken all nga lang tayo. That's 5 times 4 times 3 times 2 times 1. Sabi ni Kimberly Barayuga, 120, correct? Ang sagot mo, so that is 120 ways. Very good. Galing ah. Therefore, using our fundamental counting principle, the required number of ways that 10 representatives can be seated is 120 times 120, which is equivalent to 14,400 ways. Okay, so sana na naunawaan natin yung process. Magandang araw, Teacher Avil Galvez. Salamat. Hello, good afternoon, Mark Edward. Maraming salamat sa laging pagtutok sa ETUlay. So sana naunawaan po ninyo ang ating naging process. But tomorrow, we will discuss further about this topic para mas lalo nating malaman kung paano natin i-apply yung ating given. Pero subukan muna nating sagutan ito bilang ating assessment for this afternoon. So these are our options or choices. P or permutation is equal to n minus 1 factorial. We have also the permutation of n taken n is equal to n factorial. We have also the option permutations per option type. And then another formula, permutation is equal to n factorial divided by p factorial times q factorial times r factorial. And also the formula of permutation n taken r is equal to n factorial divided by quantity n minus r factorial. So sabi ni Raylin Embalio, 14,400 ways correct. So humabol pa siya sa ating sagot sa ating last word problem. So katulad sinabi ko, we will discuss this further next week. But for now, let us just answer this one before we end our tutorial session this afternoon. So let us try to complete the sentences using our given option. So on our sentence number 1, in solving problems involving blank, I learned that analyzing the problem is a must. So ano raw ang ating sagot sa ating question number 1 or sa ating sentence 1? First sentence, in solving problems involving blank, I learned that analyzing the problem is a must. So let us answer it, okay? Kasi medyo overtime na naman tayo. So the answer will be permutation. So in solving problems involving permutations, I learned that analyzing the problem is a must. Now let's have question number 2 or sentence number 2. Sabi ni Janeline, kalma, tama. Permutation, Abby Villanueva, correct din ang sagot mo. At si Blake Mac Iverliaga, permutation with a smiley. And si Kimberly Barayuga, permutation, correct. After analyzing, I should identify the blank of permutation in the given situation. Samantha Cabildo, tama rin ang sagot. Mary Francine Luyang, tama rin ang iyong sagot. Now let's have sentence number 2. After analyzing, I should identify the blank of permutation in the given situation. If your answer is type of permutation, you are correct. Abby Villanueva, you're correct. Now let's have the third sentence. From that, I can apply the correct formula needed. Kimberly Barayuga, correct. Daniel Lazaro, correct. Mary Francine Luyang, correct with the heart. And Daniel Taguba, correct. From that, I can apply the correct formula needed if the said problem is of the type permutation of n object is taken R at a time. the specific formula blank is to be used. Otherwise, if it is type of permutation of N taken R all the time, blank is applicable. So what are the formula? Samantha Cabildo, type is correct. Blake Mac Iberliaga, correct. Daniel Lazaro, correct. Ano kaya ang una nating formula? If your answer is permutation of N taken R is equal to N factorial divided by the quantity N minus R factorial, you are correct. On the other hand, on our second blank, if your answer is P N taken N factor, P N taken N is equal to N factorial. If that will be your answer, that is correct. So tama ang sagot ni Janeline Calma and Samantha. Good afternoon po, watching from Banquero Integrated School, Reyna Mercedes District, si Jamaica Guzman Angoluan. Hirap mag-type, sabi. Okay lang, kahit na wag nyo nang i-type, wag nyo nang sagutan, mga grade 10 students at lahat ng mga viewers natin, walang problema. So, importante ay nasusundan natin ang ating mga tamang sagot. Type, Bernardo, ang kanyang sagot kanina ay type, tama rin ang sagot. Now, for our last sentence, okay, when there are objects which are alike, the formula of distinguishable permutation should be used, which is permutation is equal to N factorial divided by P factorial times Q factorial times R factorial. Correct. And then last sentence, may last pa pala, sorry. Another situation which involves circular problem, the formula is P or permutation is equal to the for quantity N minus 1 factorial is rather applicable. Okay. Correct. So again, this is your tutor of Hill for this afternoon, Math Talino Day Friday. Don't forget to like and share our Facebook pages para na makasunod kayo sa ating DepEd ETUlay program or DepEd online tutorial. Ang ETUlay, ang of course sa DepEd Philippines, DepEd Edtech Unit, ganyan din ang DepEd TV at DepEd Tayo. Huwag din kalimutan mag-subscribe at mag-follow at mag-ring the bell sa ating mga official YouTube channel, ang DepEd TV Official at Educational Technology Unit. So, wag din po kalimutan ang Math 3 natin na every Friday, Matalino Day Friday, every 2:20 p.m. hanggang 3 p.m. At Math 10 natin every 3:40 p.m. to 4:20 p.m. Kasama, of course, ang inyong tutor of Hill. So, muli, good afternoon and happy weekend to everyone. Stay tuned lang tayo dahil meron pa tayong senior high school and ALS tutors. Bye-bye! Salamat!
Sigurado ako na marami ka na namang natutuhan sa ating ETUlay tutorial session ngayong araw. Tandaan, ito ay hindi lamang para sa ating mga mag-aaral, kundi pati rin sa ating mga minamahal na guro at mga magulang na kaagapay natin para maituloy ang pagkatuto sa kabila ng nararanasang pandemya. Patuloy ding sumubaybay sa DepEd TV para sa mga araling ginawang video episodes. Mapapanood ito mula Lunes hanggang Sabado, alas 7 ng umaga hanggang alas 7 ng gabi sa inyong mga telebisyon. Abangan sa Lunes mula 1:00 ng tanghali ang iba pang aralin sa ating ETUlay free online tutorial session sa Science. I-like and subscribe at manatiling nakasubaybay sa ating ETUlay tutorial session sa DepEd Edtech Unit FB page at Educational Technology Unit channel sa YouTube at sa DepEd Tayo at DepEd Philippines social media accounts. Paalam!